Welcome to Financial Issues, where we help you steward faithfully by honoring God with your investments. Now listen in as we give you the practical tools and advice you need to become a biblically responsible investor.
This is Financial Issues, where we help you defund darkness and fund the light by investing with biblical integrity. Folks, it is Focus Friday. We're thrilled to be here with you all. Seth Udinsky, Sam Case, and back from NRB, your host, Mark Manila. Mark, good morning, brother. Back home.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Mark,
it was
I'm really excited to hear about it. Yeah, really cool. Mark, why don't we get it started right there? But just before I ask you that, though, let me tell our listeners.
Mark, do you even know where you are right now?
Yeah, that's right. The phone number is 610-363-1110, and you can get into the call queue right now, folks. It's Focus Friday. We want to get to your calls. But let's jump off of what Sam just said there, Mark. A whirlwind, NRB. What was it like?
Yeah, it was a whirlwind. It was nonstop from the time I was getting up about 5:30 or so every morning, getting ready, getting over there, getting into the area. It was at Opryland, which is, like if you want to go from your room to any place else, it's a half an hour walk almost because of all the atriums and everything. But it was a lot of fun.
It's like an indoor city.
Yeah, it is an indoor city. It was really incredible. We'd get over there. We had a lot of people just wanting to interview us because we're Financial Issues, which was really cool. This is my first year at NRB with Financial Issues, and we had a lot of great people interviewing us, and they were very excited about what we had to talk about, especially the new petition we have out to help the Trump administration to get the wording in there properly on the new Trump accounts. I don't know if everybody knows about this, but we have a petition up. We need you to get on that, because right now, if you go and open a Trump account for your child or your grandchild, what you're doing is you open that account, they'll put $1,000 into it, and it'll be invested in an index fund like the S&P 500. So immediately you get to invest in pornography, abortion, addictive drugs and products, sexual immorality, and all those things. Yeah, that's what I said. You don't have any choice. And that's the issue.
Yeah, you have to invest in those things.
Right. And then if you put money in that for your child or grandchild, you're actually investing for them in those kind of things. And when they become 18, they immediately become a partner in those companies because they own stock in them, because they're in the S&P 500, and they are now participating. A simple way to say it, participating in the sins of these companies by being an owner in them. So we believe that the Trump accounts are an incredible thing, and we believe that they're just moving at the speed of light, trying to get this nation back on the right track, that they didn't realize that they were causing Christians to have to compromise their faith if they wanted to participate in the Trump account. So we believe when we go knocking on the White House door and ask them to give us an option not to compromise our faith to participate in these, that they'll do that. So sign that petition, go out to Financial Issues. And everybody was excited about this. When I'd go to do an interview, they're like, okay, I have these like 5 op-eds you wrote, and we can go over each one of you want. And I'd say, okay, but have you heard about the Trump accounts? And I'd explain this to them, and we do a half-an-hour show on this.
Mark,
they just loved it.
For how many people you talked to, was this their first exposure to biblically responsible investing? And if it was their first exposure to it, what was their reaction to the whole idea?
Yeah, for many of them it was. And for most of them, it was the same reaction I got from most of the people who came into my office when I owned my investment advisory, specifically help people invest with biblical integrity. We'd screen their portfolios for them, and when I'd show them what they're in, and they'd see, like, many ladies broke down in tears. Many men just sat there and looked and got red-eyed on it and said, I just didn't know. I just didn't know what I was invested in, or how what these companies did with their profits, or how they were influencing our nation in such a negative direction, or how I was participating in these ugly things. Get me out of them. I mean, their eyes would widen. And at the show, the same thing happened. And we are so far down the road now compared to what it was like 30 years ago when Art Alley, myself, Dan Celia, and a few others started this movement on investing with biblical integrity. But still, at NRB, you would have thought every one of them would have known that when they own a stock, they are a participant in that company. They're an owner. When you buy a stock, when you buy a mutual fund, you're a participant and an owner in all those different stocks in that mutual fund. You'd think they'd understand that. And if those companies were doing things that used or abused his children, God's children, that they'd want out of it, that their heart would be broken, just like God's heart would be grieving. But I would say the ratio was no different than going out on the street and randomly talking to people on how many really understood that. And that's understandable. I'm not putting down the Christian community. It's just that we need to be better with our word. We need to get it out there. We need to help Christians understand not only can they honor God with their investment, not only can they help steer our country in a better direction by not endorsing companies with their money and not participating in the sins of companies that want to destroy our nation, that God gave us to steward, that want to destroy our kids, that want us all to be brought down to the least common denominator of the world, which is evil. But we can actually use it as an act of worship, and that would be a wonderful thing. We need to get this word out. It's very important. If there's no other word we can get out to our listeners and to our viewers, it is that God is on the throne, and he wants us to be righteous. So awake to righteousness and do not sin. Do not lay your hands on someone too quickly, lest you participate in their sins. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That means to think about things and to realize that we do things differently as stewards of the one true God. We got to get this word out there.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's a double-edged sword kind of thing. On the one hand, it's kind of disappointing that not a lot of people have heard about it. But what's really encouraging is once they do hear about it, it really does have an impact on them. So it's kind of the case of, the harvest is plenty, but the workers are few right now.
That's exactly it.
And it's an exciting place to be, Mark, that's for sure. Yeah. So we're doing our best to get the word out there. Listen, Mark, I want to piggyback off of what you just said. We have got to get every single listener, partner, supporter of Financial Issues to sign this petition. This is not just trying to give your kids an opportunity for a nice investment. This is trying to get cultural national change, starting with the Trump administration. Mark, you've said this before. This is the administration to do it. If it's a Biden administration, probably not going to happen. But this is an administration that is friendly to Christians, many Christians in office. This is the time to do it, Mark, right now.
Seth, it doesn't matter what administration, but today is a day.
Yeah,
this is the day. If God's waking your heart up, waking your mind up, now's the time to do it. We need to get this word out there. I wrote the book, The Wall Street Awakening, is to give everybody the verses they need to prove to them that it's not what Mark says, it's not Seth's opinion, it is not Dan's idea. This is God. This is God telling us how we should invest. And like everything else, he's the creator of everything. Therefore, he created the universe from the smallest quark to the largest star. He created all that. He also created the physics of the universe, and that includes the physics of money. He knows how it works. He knows how it works best for you, and he knows if you embrace what he has for you, that you'll be in the best place no matter how wealthy or unwealthy or whatever it is. But he knows if you listen to him and you do things his way, you're going to be in the best place possible today, tomorrow, and forever.
Absolutely. Well said, Mark. Hey, by the way, I was holding up a copy of that book, Mark. Got to get your hands on the Wall Street Awakening.
You make a very excellent Vanna White, Seth.
Sam, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I saw the win.
Yeah, Wall Street Awakening. We've got plenty of copies here. I'd say, Mark, if anyone wants a copy, just make a donation of any amount to the ministry, and we'll send you a copy. And we'll even send you multiple copies if you want multiple, because you're exactly right, Mark. The information in this book, it's not because of anything within you, although you are, in my opinion, one of the most brilliant men I've met, Mark. It's because it's God's way of investing. That's really what
exactly. It's not me. I woke up this morning after everything that went down at NRB, and I said, "Good morning, Lord. Thank you for allowing me to walk with you through this, to walk in your great works. I know they're not mine. I know they're not ours, but they're God's, and he allows us to do this. He allows you to do the same thing with everything he's entrusted to you, including your investments, and that's an incredible thing. Today is Focus Friday. I'm sorry I took up so much of the of the first segment.
Well,
but we're going to get to all the
on NRB, right, and the success there.
Exactly, sure. But we're going to get to your calls. We have a space left, I think, in the queue. We're headed to just a very short break, and when we come back, we're going to jump into the calls. Bob, Mark, Teresa. We're going to get to you right away. So thank you for holding on. Thank you for listening to my little rant. And I hope it was a blessing and not, I hope you took it as what it was meant to be, is a way to help you grow closer to Christ in everything you are, including your investments. 610-363-1110, 610-363-1110. Let's have fun, some fun today on Focus Friday.
Would you join Financial Issues and Pre-Born as we celebrate heartbeats? Your tax-deductible donation of $120 or any amount will provide free ultrasounds, counseling aid, and the gospel message to a mother in an unplanned pregnancy. Become a heartbeat hero and give monthly to save lives over and over again. To donate, dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby, or go to financialissues.org and click on the Pre-Born banner.
Navigating through investment options can be challenging, especially when you're determined to uphold your God-given values. Every dollar you invest is a vote for the world that you want to live in. Let your values guide your investment decisions and help to shape the culture in which we live. Become a beacon of light and pave the way with biblically responsible investing. Timothy Plan, where faith and finance collide. Before investing, carefully consider the fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the investment company. This and other important information can be found in the fund's prospectus. To obtain a copy, visit timothyplan.com or call 800-846-7526. Read each prospectus carefully before investing. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
I heard about Jesus in my public school, and my life changed.
For over 25 years, God has used Crossroads Kids Club to bring the gospel right to where children are, inside public schools.
Will you help us share Jesus with kids in public schools? I want more kids to have the same chance that I had.
Would you help reach more children by making a gift to Crossroads today?
Help reach kids with the hope of the gospel. Visit reachourschools.com.
Hey, Mark, before we get to these calls here, and by the way, folks, there is a line open, so you can fill it right now, 610-363-1110. William in the chat was saying that he just ordered your book on Amazon, supposed to arrive today. That is fantastic, William.
Praise God.
Awesome. And Mark, you had shared, too, that William, if you want to, a way to get the word out even a little bit way is to leave a nice review on Amazon, because it forces them to up the book into a more visible place. Is that right, Mark?
Absolutely. And here's what's really good about that is none of the profits come to me. None of the profits come to Financial Issue. All of them go to More Than Money Ministries, and we use that money to help impoverished people to work them way out of poverty. So.
Awesome. It's awesome. 610-363-1110. Mark, let's talk to your namesake and go up to the Northeast and talk to Mark from Vermont.
Well, welcome, Mark. Thanks for joining our show. What's on your mind this morning?
Good morning, Mark. I just wanted to say thank you for taking my call, and it's been a pleasure the last week or so listening to you. I'm new to your program, and I have some questions about my children and their college savings. I am late to the game. I have about right now close to $6,000 I'd like to invest for them. One is in 8th grade, the other is in 10th grade, so I'm very late to the game. Having said that, my immediate thought was, let's do a 529 plan, because we see all these brochures that come in the mail, and it's super easy. It's really easy to just partake in that. And I have an uncle, I believe, who is interested possibly in helping. I know I have a mother-in-law and father-in-law that would like to contribute. And these are, again, easy vehicles that they could contribute to. I have heard about biblically responsible investing, and it has come to my attention, so I started looking into it more as the tax year has coming to an end in the middle of April, and because I need to do something with this money for the 2025 fiscal year. And I'll try to keep this brief. I apologize for being a little long-winded. But so I know I'm at a point where I have to get something done within the next. So I know I'm at a point where I need to do something within the next 2 months. And I know the 529 plan for my state does include abortion in its mutual fund from Vanguard. Having said that, it also includes oncology drugs for chemotherapy, things like that. So I run into this ethical dilemma where there is good and there's bad. And I guess similar to what you're...
Hey, Mark, how big is your God?
Yeah.
How big is your God?
Huge.
He's huge. So do you think he set up a universe where you have to compromise to care for your children? Do you think he's not big enough to set up a universe where you could invest for your children, for their future, for their education without killing babies, without enslaving prostitutes into pornography, without enslaving Uyghurs to make tennis shoes? Don't you think he's a big enough God to do that?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's start there. If you do not have the option, and this is where we always have to start as true believers, our God is an awesome God. He's a loving God. He's a caring God. He's a compassionate God. Everything good comes from him. We start with biblical integrity. We say, is this company in alignment or at least neutral with godly concepts? And if they're not, they're off the table. They're not even an option anymore. That's not something we can entertain. We do not entertain sin. We're told to turn our back and walk away. We're told to ignore it. We're told to run away from sin, not to participate in any way. And that's what God calls us to do. So if you don't have an option to invest with biblical integrity in a way that does not use or abuse his children or cause people to stumble on their way with Christ or in their relation with them, then we just don't invest. We do something else with that money. But there are other options, aren't there, Seth?
There sure are. Mark, it's exactly right, brother.
And Mark, I'm not trying to be hard on you.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we just get confused in the world. There's so much thrown at us that we forget our God is an awesome God, right?
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing, though, that as I think about that, and I agree with what you're saying, but the extent of that thought makes me think then I shouldn't be, maybe even, I see other companies that, like, say, maybe I shouldn't buy an Apple phone because those profits are going to Apple and they have explicit content.
Mark, can I speak to that for just 1 second? Because you've brought up something that is so important, Mark. You're referring to the difference between stewardship and patronage. So if you buy an Apple phone, your money is not being invested in that company. You've made a transaction of goods where now you're called to be a steward of that phone. So you be a good steward of that phone.
Think about it like the Romans road.
Yeah.
Jesus walked the Romans road, right?
Exactly.
He used the Romans road. That was the telephone of the time back then.
Right.
You know, he used the Greeks, the apostle used Greek ships. They used Roman ships. They did that kind of thing because they were in the world, they just weren't of the world. They didn't invest in the shipping companies that were taking slaves back and forth from the islands to the different places. They didn't invest in the brothels or the prostitutes they came across, but they did interact with them. On the Roman roads, they paid their taxes. Rome used those taxes to kill and destroy and even kill Jesus. So there's a difference between consumption and being a partner, an owner in a company. Whenever possible, we should try to find an alternative to the phones, to the services, to the products in this world that do not honor God. When there isn't an opportunity or we cannot function without it, God understands that. So there is a difference between being a partner, an owner in a company, and a consumer of the meat that is being served at the local restaurant.
So I was listening to as well to Dave Ramsey, and I'm a little confused, and I'm not saying I agree with him. His idea was that unless it's the IPO, the initial public offering, you're not actually a partaker in the company. It's like buying a second-hand car.
Okay. Let me clear this up really quick here. It's very easy. That is such a straw man. It's embarrassing that somebody as intelligent and who has so much influence as he would say something like that. When you own a stock, when you buy a stock, you're an owner in it. Bottom line, that's what a stock stands for, stock certificate. And that means that's a certificate showing what percentage of the company you own. You're an owner. As an owner, you're a participant. Maybe your money didn't go on the IPO to them or doesn't go directly to them because you bought it on the market, but you bought into it and you now are a partner. This is very important. You now are an owner and you are participating in whatever they do. If they cure cancer, you participate in that. If they enslave children, you participate in that. If they encourage LGBTQ sexual immorality in our society by backing movies, by doing commercials, you're participating in that. Dave Ramsey is wrong, period. That nothing, you can't argue with God's word. If you're an owner in it, you're participating in it. And that's the bottom line on it. He uses this as a straw man argument because he once told me face to face, Mark, if I can't monetize it, I won't back it. He hasn't been able to monetize BRI, so he won't back it. I had 2 advisors under my RIA who wanted to work with Ramsey and buy. I don't know if you know this, but when you get when they refer you to somebody, that's because they charge between $50 and $150 to that broker to buy that lead from them. They wouldn't sell us leads because we were biblically responsible, and they couldn't get behind it because they couldn't make money off of it. And if they gave us a lead, then they know that they'd stop watching the Ramsey show. Bottom line.
Mark from Vermont, that's called an old-fashioned rant, in case you didn't know.
I'm sorry. This is the first time on the air I went this way. You know what? Dave Ramsey has done so many good things, but this is one argument he's wrong on. He has helped so many people get out of debt. He has helped so many people do budgeting. He has helped so many people. I really appreciate what he has done and the influence he has had. But here it's just, unfortunately, for some reason, he's not able to get his mind there yet. Sorry about that, Mark.
Oh, no problem. Hey, this is a good conversation, and I thank you for everything. I just wanted to say, so as I thought about it, and direct me how you think about it, I was starting to wonder, though, in reality, does buying the Apple phone or buying a product off Amazon, which has a Prime Video account as well, which has sexual messages and things.
That's the other end of the candle. That's the other end of the candle. There's 2 ways to influence these companies. There's 2 ways to influence them. One is not to become a partner with them and endorse them with your money to help them grow. Because when you do buy a stock, you actually are helping the stock go up in price. When they do that, they have more treasury. Their treasury stock rises in price. They can borrow more. They can do more IPOs. They can get more money in. They can influence the nation more and more with their filth. So we don't want to do that. On the other end, when we buy their products or we use their services, we're endorsing them as well. So whenever possible, we avoid being involved in the ugliness of this world, and we focus on all that is good. We find alternatives when we can, and when we can't, we hold our nose and move forward.
And Mark from Vermont, I had to put you on hold there, brother, because we're coming to the end of this segment. But our Mark, I did want to just address this also, and it's a fantastic conversation that we're having there. But back to Mark's original question about, what to do for his children. If he can't find a biblically responsible option in the 529, you can always go with the UGMA UTMA. It's just making sure that, Mark, we've talked about this, the consideration of once they hit that age of majority in that type of account, that money is theirs. But there are plenty of biblically responsible options there. Of course, we also keep our eyes on the Trump accounts too, Mark. But as you said earlier, again, right now they're not biblically responsible. So for Mark from Vermont, I would tell him stay away from those until we can get those biblically responsible too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said. And I am so sorry, but I've been on a week tour doing interviews and helping people realize the truth about how their investments, who we are in Christ, as somebody who has been saved by grace, through faith and not of myself. I believe that everything we are should be his, and everything we do should honor him and not pull us away from him, not cause us to dishonor our Lord, our Savior, or even the gospel in any way. If it's of God, it can stay on the table. If it's not, let's get it off the table, not consider it, put it behind me, get behind me, Satan, on these things, and then we only look at those options that are left. That's the way it should be. And you know, God did say we're of this world. We have to be in this world. We're here for a reason, to shine his light and to defund the darkness. And we defund the darkness by not investing in those kind of things, by not putting our money towards things that aren't absolutely necessary. So, you know, we know our God is great. And we know that he allows us a lot of grace. So thank you for your call, Mark, and we'll be right back. The queues, if you can't get through to the queue, try again. We're going to take calls as quick as we can.
You know, giving is more than just writing a check. It's about using the resources God has blessed you with to make a lasting impact. Now, here at Financial Issues Stewardship Ministries, we're here to help you explore the power of giving beyond your income through non-cash gifts. From donor-advised funds, appreciated stocks, qualified charitable distributions, to name a few, these strategic giving options not only help ministries like ours, but can also offer significant tax benefits for you. Through prayer and thoughtful stewardship, you can give more effectively. You can impact lives, support ministries, and align your giving with God's plan for your finances. So, whether you're donating stocks, setting up a donor-advised fund, or even planning through your will, each gift plays a crucial role in advancing our mission to promote biblical stewardship. Ready to maximize your impact? Reach out to our team today.
Go to financialissues.org/non-cash gifts to learn more. That's financialissues.org/.
As a member of Samaritan Ministries,
My wife and I, we moved into this neighborhood. We had some experience with Crossroads Kids Club. We had served at another club. We kind of thought to ourselves, like, it would be really, really cool for us to actually bring in a club that was able to share the love of Jesus with kids directly into the school. And so we started our Crossroads at Hilltop.
Crossroads is amazing. You can learn all kinds of things about God. That he loves all of us. He died on the cross to pay for our sins. That he will help me in every way.
There is just such tremendous opportunity to reach kids in some of these areas that just aren't being reached.
Sometimes I pray every night. When I feel alone sometimes, God is right there sitting next to me. I can rely on him no matter what happens.
Help reach kids with the hope of the gospel. Visit reachOurschools.com.
You know, folks, it's days like these that we're grateful that we get to do overtime, because we're going to need the extra time on today's show, that's for sure, because we have calls in the queue. Bob, Linda, Teresa will get to you. There's a line open, folks, so fill it right now, 610-363-1110. We got a bunch of questions to answer.
And don't forget, lines open, stay open for overtime.
Thank you, Sam. Yes, they will stay open for overtime, so we're not closing the lines at the top of the hour, folks. All right, we're going to keep on going there, so make sure to get your call in. If you can't do it right now, you can wait a little bit, but I'd encourage you to get it in right now if you can. 610-363-1110. 10. Mark, right now, we have a wonderfully special guest joining us on the program here too. Folks, as you know, we've been spending these last 2 weeks saving babies from abortion, bringing the gospel to mothers and fathers through our Heartbeat Hero campaign with Pre-Born. I'm so pleased to welcome to the show today Roxy Lamorgese. She's the executive director of Pre-Born. Roxy, welcome back to the show. It's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks for having us and doing this with us.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Roxy. We're so glad you're here. And we are so glad to be have partners like Pre-Born. It's everything we believe in. We're just not trying to defund the darkness. We're trying to fund the light. And Pre-Born is part of that light. I believe it's a godly organization that is saving babies, helping moms realize the love of their children. It is the most incredible of ministries that I could imagine partnering with. So thank you so much for being here with us.
Absolutely. Roxy, let me just ask you this. And folks, by the way, if you want to contribute to this Pre-Born campaign, preborn.com/FISM is the place to go. You can also find the QR code on our screen there. You can get that also. Roxy, here's my question for you. I've heard recently from unbelievers, family members even, that something clicked for them when they heard the heartbeat of their child, that they're waiting to have a child right now, 14 weeks, 15 weeks pregnant. When they heard the heartbeat, that's when it became real. What is it about hearing a baby's heartbeat that makes so many mothers choose life?
I think just that, right? I think it gives a potent realization and completely debunks this line, my body, my choice. It is not your body. It is not your heartbeat. There is another human being in there whose heartbeat is almost twice as fast. It is not your heart. And it also shows this beautiful picture of another human being living inside somebody else's body.
Roxy, I'm so glad you pointed out the inherent lie of that, because you're exactly right. It's a demonic lie. It's actually not the woman's body. It's another body. It's a life. Roxy, would you share with us a testimonial from the front lines? What is the impact that Pre-Born is having to real women and real babies and real families?
Yeah, this recently, I got a few weeks ago, so excited. One of our partner leaders sent me this video of a young girl that was looking for abortion. And, because of all the laws changing, they were going to get an abortion and travel all the way to New York for this one. But through God's grace, they saw one of the ads and outreach we are running. They picked up the phone call. They actually got connected to one of our nurses online and then got booked an appointment to a local clinic instead, because we provide free education, accurate, really talk to her about her health, talk to her about Jesus, give her free ultrasound that we are talking about here. She went into a clinic, to our clinic, right? Just, I think, a day or two prior to her flight to go to New York. She brought the boyfriend, who is the father of the baby too. And just as we are talking about, they received a free ultrasound scan, actually through an ultrasound machine that Pre-Born also placed. And that day, they saw the baby, heard the heartbeat, and decided, I can't genuinely have an abortion. And the father of the baby was also there, and he got so into it. And just like, we're not having an abortion. I know we're young. We're going to get the help. And that day, they actually chose life for their baby.
Praise God. Praise God for that, Roxy. It's amazing. And then what does Pre-Born do, after that, after the life is chosen, after the baby's born? What do you guys do to continue helping this family in this situation?
Throughout the network of clinics that we have nationally, there's actually extended services that is available to help parents that choose life. Anywhere from parenting classes, there are a lot of folks now that do, and we support fatherhood programs. There's also you get free diapers, free wipes, cribs, strollers, name it. Most of these programs run up to 2 years, right? We want them equipped and able through transformational life change, and that they could sustain their decision for life. So there's so much that happens on the ground and hands-on work, not to mention discipleship classes, church programs and referrals, so that we could actually help bridge the gap between their decision and commitment to Christ that day when they visit the clinic, and foster a true discipleship, long-term life transformation.
Roxy, we're so grateful to partner with you guys. Once again, it's a joy to do so. Hey, how can we pray for Pre-Born as you guys continue to adapt to the changing landscape in the fight for life?
We'd love prayers. Specifically, number one, the landscape is changing, right? So our ability to be able to apprehend that woman and reach her online when more than 63% of abortion is happening through the pill and more than 27% of total abortions is through telehealth. So just making sure that we have enough infrastructure and genuinely outreach that we could do those. Secondarily, safety for our staff and our team, just protection. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, so that's always helpful. Yeah. And more importantly, for the church to come alongside the work, the greater church at large, for the work of the pro-life organization and ministries.
Absolutely. Roxy, we'll keep you guys lifted in prayer, and just want to say again, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. Folks, you can donate right now, preborn.com/FISM. God bless you, Roxy. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Mark, why don't we get to the phones now, shall we? 610-363-1110. Gosh, let's see. Why don't we go to Bob, Mark? Bob had called earlier this week, Bob from Ohio, and we weren't able to get to him. Why don't we talk to Bob, shall we?
Bob, welcome to Financial Issues. What's on your mind today?
Hey, good morning, Mark. A great job at NRB. Appreciate everything you're doing.
Well, thank you. It was a blessing that God allows me to participate.
Great. I'm glad you got a chance to participate, my friend.
Well, thank you. Did you have a question for us?
I do. Yes, sir. So I opened up a minor IRA for my 17-year-old, and I wanted to see if you could help me with some sort of a strategy to fund this thing properly. The way it's looking is he's going to be contributing about $200 a month or so from his earnings to this IRA, to the Roth IRA.
Bob, that's awesome.
That's awesome, Bob. That's so cool. How old is he, Bob? 17?
17.
Man, I wish I had that discipline when I was 17. That's fantastic.
Me too. But I wanted to see the best strategy because I know there's ways to, buy portion of shares and buy fractional shares or even just buy a share at a time. But I'm not sure how that's going to play out because sometimes by the time he would get, any sizable amount of investment into anything, it may come off the buy list. And then what would we do at that point?
Well, it's a good question. And really, please consider this strategy. Instead of going into individual stocks, start using mutual funds or ETFs. Because with a mutual fund or ETF, you will have many fractional shares in there, but you'll be well diversified. For example, if you use the Timothy Plan small cap ETF, you're in probably 60 to 150 different small cap companies. If you use the large mid cap, you're in 50 to 150 large mid cap companies, and you can buy in by dollar amount, whether it's $50 or $200 or $200,000. When you buy into the mutual fund, your money goes into this bucket that with all the other investors into that exchange traded fund or mutual fund, and then the manager takes all that money and he invests it in all these stocks, and you own a portion of all those. So effectively, there's even mutual funds by Timothy Plan, like they have a conservative growth fund or they have an aggressive growth fund. Both those are different, but they're made up of different types of stock depending on which one it is. If it's a conservative growth, they may have some fixed income in there, high dividend stocks in there along with regular growth. If it's an aggressive growth, it's more of just growth funds. Dividends don't matter, and there's probably little to no income stocks in there or bonds in there, fixed income in there. So you can get a full managed portfolio within a mutual fund that way. And that way it can be diversified. It's professionally managed along the way. And then when it gets to a certain amount, when you get up to $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, you could start using the new money to buy individual stocks to overweight different areas that you like technology or things like that. So I would start with the mutual funds and ETFs, so you get the diversification, you get the management, and you don't have to worry about the partial shares or the slices, I think some of the platforms call it. Did that make sense?
Yes, it does. So then when the for instance, let's say the whatever aggressive fund, since he's young, you would recommend a more aggressive fund.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, if he's not going to need it for college in 3 or 5 years, yeah. If he's going to keep this as a retirement fund, he's going to hold it till age 59 and a half or 65 or 85 or how old he's going to be before he needs those funds. If it's a long-term investment, absolutely. If I thought I saw in our chat, we were talking with a gentleman. Oh, we only got a few seconds here. But if it's short-term, really just go into a money market or cash equivalent if it's less than a year or year and a half long, because you never know where the markets are going to be in that year and a half. Really appreciate your call. Thank you for that. It is good questions. And we're going to be focused in on calls now. Queues are lit up. If you can't get in, call back. We'll be right back with you, and we're going to be taking calls. Did you know that an unborn baby's heart beats at an average of 120 times every minute? That steady rhythm, that precious sound, that's the sound of life. Hi, I'm Mark Manella, host of Financial Issues, and today I want to encourage you to give to the amazing work of Pre-Born. Pre-Born partners with local pregnancy clinics across the nation to help mothers choose life, providing free ultrasounds, counseling, and the gospel of Jesus Christ.
This Valentine's season, we invite you to join Financial Issues and Pre-Born in a mission to save babies and transform lives. Your donation of $120 can make an extraordinary difference. To donate, dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, baby, or go to financialissues.org. That's financialissues.org and click on the Pre-Born banner.
There are moments in life. Before investing.
The opinions and recommendations expressed on this program do not necessarily represent the opinions of the station or any of the program sponsors. Additionally, all products or services offered by the program sponsors may not be known by the program.
Folks, you can give us a call right now. We got one line open, so now might be your chance to get in the call queue, 610-363-1110. Of course, we're going to stay on, so those of you in the call queue, Dan, Linda, Teresa, we're going to get to you in just a moment. If we don't get to you in this segment, though, no fret, because we've got overtime coming up next. So just stay in the call queue, and we'll get right to you.
The joys of overtime.
That's right. The other side of the next hour. Giving. Amazing
Exactly.
gift. We're pretty excited. Hey, Mark, why don't we go to Teresa now? She's calling from Florida.
Let's do that. Teresa, welcome to the show. Glad you're with us. You have a question for us this morning?
Yes, thank you so much. Yesterday, this is my second call from yesterday morning. I was calling about Timothy plan, but we didn't. You said you didn't have the time for me anyway. So I wanted to know what is that, how that works, and do I need to know any technology about that, because I'm not into computer or laptop. Where I live is.
Well, you know,
hey, Teresa, Mark, would it be okay if I just ask Teresa a quick question?
Please, go ahead.
Do you have a brokerage account, Teresa, like with a Fidelity or a Schwab or something like that?
Nothing. This is my very first time getting, I've been listening to your show on the radio. And this is the first time I'm calling, yesterday and today.
Today's your second. Well, welcome.
Well, no problem. Yeah, you can open it up direct at the fund, which means you could call Timothy Plan at 1-800-TIMOTHY-PLAN, and they'll help you open up an account. Or you could do it at Schwab or Fidelity, but then you will have to go online for that. So if you have to have internet access, and I'm sure you do, but yeah, usually you'll just fill up the line, or you could go to a local broker or somebody who can walk you through the paperwork and help you do that. If you're just starting out and it's not massive amounts of money, and you just want to learn a little bit about investing or get some of the money invested, I really enjoy working. People who work with the Timothy Plan are great. The Timothy Plan are great. They'll hold your hand. They'll walk you through the application process. They can't give you any advice because they're not advisors, but they can help you with all the paperwork. The advice, obviously, you can get almost anywhere online or on the air. But so you could open up a Timothy Plan mutual fund account direct at the fund if you'd like to do that. That number there again is 1-800-TIMOTHY-PLAN.com.
Okay.
Or you could go out to timothyplan.com and do it there. Does that help, Teresa?
Thank you so much. Yeah, that helps. Well, it doesn't help me because I don't know any technology, and I don't even use, I'm only cold. So,
then that's good. Call Timothy Plan.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Give them a call. Yeah, we can't open an account. We're not brokers. I used to have my financial advisory to help people invest with biblical integrity like you, but I sold that so I could become the host of this show. And I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad God allowed me to do that, because now I get to speak directly with people like you, Teresa, and many more about the virtues of being able to invest with biblical integrity and align our lives with God's desires for us to do good, to fund the light, defund the darkness, and move forward. So if you have another question, or if you need a little more help, you can call or you can call us off the air, and we'll help you as well. We'll help you to do that. Just let them know that we spoke on air and that you would like a little additional help, okay?
Well, yeah, but I have another second question.
Okay.
I just in my mind about trusting will or leaving trust. What would that be for a single mom? Well, my kids are grown up, but I have 2 properties that I wanted to make sure that if I passed away or something, I can hire. I don't know where to go.
Right. I get it. No problem. There's multiple ways to do that. You could do it in a will. You could do it in a trust. One of the simple ways to do it is to do it on the deed, a paid on death or a transfer on death beneficiary statement on your deed to that property. You can put your children on there as beneficiaries, and it will go directly to them. That's one way to do it. Obviously, you should either talk to an attorney or somebody, but that's the way that most people do it. When I was doing financial planning, a lot of our clients did it that way. They would anything that had a deed on it or like a car or something, you could put a beneficiary statement on it. So a transfer on death, a paid on death beneficiary statement on the real estate title will allow you to do that. And you can do that with a quit claim deed, they call it, a quit claim deed. You just go up and take care of that. I hope that helps, Teresa.
Teresa, wonderful calls. Thank you. Please do call
God bless you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for calling.
And hey, Teresa, for you, just make sure you have my email address on handy, seth@fism.tv. You can email us and you can ask more questions there if you've got a follow-up. That's great. Mark, why don't we go to the West Coast and talk to Linda from California?
Let's do that. Now let's go out to the Linda the surfer on the West Coast. Hey, Linda, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys?
Good. God bless you. Thank you for joining our show this morning. Do you have a question for us?
Yes, sir. I called last Thursday, and Seth finally did return my call on Friday morning. And I would like to, I have a 401k with Morgan and Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked them a couple of years ago when my husband passed that I wanted to switch that to a Timothy plan. And they had said that they don't have that in their system.
Okay, and
so
that's
like
possibly true. That's possibly true. Was this your husband's 401k or yours?
It was his, and now it's mine.
Okay, is it still in a 401k or is it in an IRA?
Oh, sorry, it's in a traditional IRA.
Okay, I don't understand why Morgan Stanley couldn't invest in Timothy Plan. They're ETFs that are traded on the market, so they should be able to do those. I would find somebody else at Morgan Stanley to talk to about that, because they should be able to invest in Timothy Plan mutual funds in general, but the exchange traded funds that they have, definitely they trade like stocks on the open exchange, so they could just put in the TPSC or TPLC, and it'll come up just like a stock would, and they could trade it on there and buy it into your account, sell off some of what they have to do. You might want to start the conversation, Linda, with, are you able to help me invest with biblical integrity? And if they say yes, say, how do you do that then? Who do you use to screen the portfolio? If they don't say evaluator, you may tell them that you want it to be clean per evaluator services, screening services. And then if they say they don't have that, say, well, then, if you want to manage my money, please get that. You can be very comfortable transferring that account elsewhere if they won't allow you to invest like you believe God's calling you to do. One of the tenets, one of the very strong laws about being an advisor or being a broker is they are supposed to know their client and invest in alignment with who their client is. Your spiritual beliefs are more important are just as important as your risk tolerance and the amount of money you have in there with them. And if they're unwilling to follow that, you should go elsewhere. I would suggest you look at your options at that point.
And, Linda, here's one more piece of advice for you as well. Mark, I don't know if this would help, but this is just something that comes to my mind here. When you're going to them, give them specifics. I'm not sure how they could say that they can't invest in TPLC, which is that's a publicly traded investment that's possible to do, or TPSC. Those specific Timothy ETFs, that might be a way for you to kind of get through to them as well.
And what is it, TPHD? TPHD. High dividend stock fund. ETF,
any of those three would be great.
So, and if you invest in those three, you probably have 300 to 600 different stocks now, because the ETFs are mutual fund that are traded like a stock on the open exchange. So they should be able to get you into that. If they don't want you to, then you need to consider, why am I here with them?
Right.
Why are they making money off me?
If we join as a partner, do you guys help us flip that over from Morgan Stanley to the Timothy Plan?
Well, we can't open the accounts for you, but we can give you guidance on how to get in touch with them and how to make that happen. Yes, absolutely.
Linda,
we also then can help you with the asset allocation, what funds to invest in, how to balance your portfolio based on your sleep factor and your goals and those kind of things. So absolutely. So please do become a partner. There's a whole lot of information in the back end about that. And we also, you can just call in. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you very much, Linda. God bless you. Thank you for getting up with us in the morning there on the West Coast. We appreciate that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
God bless you, Linda. Mark, ordinarily it'd be bad news for Dan and George and anyone else wants to get into the queue, but not today because it's overtime. So Dan and George, hang on right there, guys. We're going to get right to you after we close the regular show here, Mark. Does it sound good?
Absolutely. Yeah. We have such great calls, and every call that comes in helps everybody who's listening, because people like Linda didn't know that she might be able to move it over elsewhere or how to do that. We can help you to do that. That's what we're all about. We're here to help you. We're here to serve you. And we're going to do that in about a minute after we go to this break. Or is it 30 seconds?
It's like 30 seconds, Mark. It's real quick. It's
30 seconds.
Quick. People barely have time to get a drink.
And the most important thing about this is, after we come back from this 30-second break, Sam's still going to be with us as well. and I know everybody watching is like me. We just love those little comments by Sam when he comes in and helps us to make sense of it all. So
I do my best.
Yeah, stay with us and get in the queue. 610-363-1110. 610-363-1110. Give us a call. We'll be taking all your calls on this Focus Friday overtime.
If we ever forget that we're one nation under God, then we will be a nation gone under.
Thank you for joining us. This has been an FISM production.
Fear